Alright, I originally tried recording this before and was not very fortunate at how long it was going to take to watch the whole thing through for anyone. About 40 minutes, 45 minutes long, and that is not good, okay? So, I think I went too far in depth in explaining everything, and so I'm going to talk about a lot of the bare bone things as quick as possible. And probably I'm not going to cut any of this, okay? So we have the quests, okay? You have your story quests. We go all the way to the back. I'm in Canny Valley, which is the third area. Plankerton is the second area that you get to. And then you have Stonewood, which is the first area. So you end up having to do some of these quests to start. And I believe after a little bit, after one of these, maybe the third Storm Shield, I think, that is when, around this area, this is when you can start playing with other people, if I'm not mistaken. And that's just like openly, you can talk to other people and play with other people. And you just follow the quest. This is really what you need to do. You have, you know, the quest name. You have what you need to do in the quest, which husk encampments are the little things on the map that have this icon right here. There's a bunch of stuff. I can explain those sort of things very in-depth in other videos if you would like to see that. I have no problem just literally churning out videos talking about this stuff. And I want to also preface that I am not a pro by any means. This is just my experience of trying to give knowledge to other people of, you know, how I see these things. Other people may be like, oh, this is what you do instead of this or whatever. I can't do that for you. I can't pull stuff out of my ass. But yeah, so you complete all of your quests and then eventually you get to the very last one, which you defend a rocket. It's a very specific mission. You go on to the next place and you do this progressively. I do not suggest just playing random missions, and instead you are constantly trying to further your campaign, because it is just faster. Now, you start off here, and we'll show a little bit of Stonewood. Obviously, your home base is here, and you have, like, endurance, which is something you don't need to worry about. That's a whole nother video. Play with others. This is so that you can consistently get other people to play with, but you're just not probably going to get the match that you want specifically. If you want to make sure that people can join you, even if it's random, when you click onto a place to like, do a mission, click fill. And even if no one joins, you will still have the opportunity for people to join later. Now, these are some of the bare bones quests. A lot of these take long. By long, it's usually 10 minutes tops. I don't think there's really any of these that take like 20 minutes or something. That would be egregious. But some of them feel a little bit longer. Rescuing the survivors is probably the fastest thing that you can do. So if you have daily quests that involve you needing to just complete missions, just do rescue the survivors over and over. That's probably the best thing. And if you are a founder, which I am a founder, I have been a founder for a while, daily quests and certain missions can give you V-Bucks. Pretty much anything in here can give you V-Bucks. If you are not a founder and you have purchased one of the bundles or got it from the crew pack or something, meaning Save the World, you got it from there, you are going to get tickets instead. So anything that would say V-Bucks, like on a mission alert like this, there is a chance that instead of, you know, upgrade token, it says 35 V-Bucks, you would get 35 tickets instead. And for a founder, I believe you get tickets and also that, but yeah. You also have these llamas, which are right here, which you spend your X-ray tickets on. You have loot, Fortnitemares, that's the event that's happening right now, so you get a specific type of tickets for that. You have the items in here, which you don't need to really buy any of these. If you have the gold, buy the mythic characters and extra legendaries if you can. The best thing to also buy as well is things like legendary flux, which I'm about to get, because it's just stuff that you need to use in the future, which I can get more in depth in another video, because if I sit here like how I did before, it'll be very, very long. But you want to buy a lot of these things. You want to buy all of these, not the survivors. You don't really need them as much, or defenders. I'm going to get this one though, because I do not have him, and I want to complete my collection book, which we will get into very quickly. But yeah, complete your quests, do all that. This down here is how to go to different types of quests and things like that. Oh, they added a new thing. I'm going to do that in a bit. Okay, I don't know what the fuck just happened. My computer lagged really badly. But yeah, okay, so you have all these areas. These 4 areas and the one that's locked down here are just specific to the main game, which is basically just like it's the main story, okay? And then Ventures is its own thing, which is a whole video to explain it. It's really not that long if I were to explain it, but it's its own thing. Different inventory, different stuff. Don't do this if you're a new player. Try doing all of the main story and things like that first, and then tag along with Ventures. it can be a little bit difficult to start. And then you have dungeons, which is its own thing, where it's a roguelike, which basically means that every single time you start a mission in this game, any of these, you have to get new loot, and that's really it. But I think you keep your stats, so do not do it if you don't feel comfortable doing it. And then we have the command area. The command area, I sat here for probably 40 minutes explaining. Your research, you can only hold up to 10,000 right here of these green points. And I suggest just putting it into whatever you can. So I put it into here. Okay, my computer just had a stroke again. Put your points into whatever you can. You can only obviously hold up to 10,000. It obviously shows how much you get. It also shows you the bonuses that you get within these. These are your fort stats, which makes your power level go up higher over time. You have your heroes, you have your hero loadouts, defenders. Defenders aren't really that useful. Expeditions, I started one, and that was showing it in the video that I had recorded before. But you basically send people off, you use research points. I don't usually use these. I suggest using it once you're in the later end of the game. I've never really had any issue with it, but your hero loadouts, it's its own thing. You just kind of can set up characters however you want. You have, if we inspect right here, you have your standard perk, which is when they're in their side supporting slot, and commander perk, which is when they're in this little slot right here. So this is the standard, this is commander. So you kind of set people up based on however you want. You have your gadgets and things like that. The team perk is usually given by if you've purchased mythic characters. I think you'll have probably a couple. I don't know for sure if you're a new player or have started playing for a little bit. I suggest putting, if you don't really have much to put and you don't really care about the bonuses to start, like you're in Stonewood or in just the newer areas, just put your best characters in your like supporting slots so that you have more health and you have more shield. It's the best thing to do. Pick a character that's comfortable. The different character types, obviously, you know, there's soldier, there's constructors, there's ninja, and there's an outlander. There's a bunch of them. They all do different things. Some of them have different abilities compared to others, even in their own class. So you get used to it as you play more and more. And there's this whole section, you know, of just heroes and stuff like that. I did show upgrading a character, and we will have to do that one more time. I have some of these mythic characters, so I have to upgrade them. When you upgrade, you have to have a certain amount of XP for heroes or whatever you're trying to upgrade. So schematic XP, hero XP, survivor XP. Those are the three main ones. You upgrade, upgrades all the way, you evolve. You need all of the things that are within here, and your level is your account level up here. And basically you just evolve and you keep going. I usually spam it. Then eventually it caps you out until you need to further the campaign, in which then you can upgrade it more. So just keep that in mind. Your defenders, you basically give them guns and spawn like a little trap that spawns them. You give them guns and a certain amount of your ammo, and they will just fight for you. I've never used them, but I think in the later end of the game, if you're playing by yourself, they might be useful. Never have had to use them though. So yeah. And your research, it banks up points as you're away, so you can obviously, I think it saves up to 4,000. Don't know for sure, but you end up getting these upgrade level point things. You can also reset them a certain amount of times. I think it's like 3 times. I'm not for sure. You get this as your account level up here at the top right goes up. So I put mine in adrenaline and the drone. I haven't used this airstrike for a while because it just seems a little bit useless, but the hover turret, very, very helpful. I use most of these the whole time. That you'll see that on all of my loadouts. There's probably other stuff that you can use, like this is a teleporter, this is a slow field, this is a proximity mine. This is a banner that basically helps. It's good for everyone. I never use it. Then this is a supply drop, which I do not suggest putting much into this. It doesn't give a whole lot, as much as I feel like it should. I don't know for sure if you upgrade it, if it actually gives more though. It could. You always want to put your points into all of these things right here, which, yeah, backpack size, your storage size, your how much damage your pickaxe does, building health, building repair speed. That is this whole area. And your profile, use XP boosts on yourself. If you have them to start, use all of them. Don't save them. There's no reason to save them. Saving them is pretty useless. And then you also have friend ones that you can use on other people, so just keep that in mind. Then you have your armory, schematics, you know, you have all these things, bunch of whatever. You probably may not have legendaries to start. You will get them. Keep the legendaries. Keep legendaries of everything. Do not do anything with them. You have your backpack. All, you know, a bunch of stuff in here. You can always scrap stuff, which as you see down here is batch recycle. We click it, we click on both of these, confirm, get rid of it. Now we basically scrap it and we take all of the resources in it if it was not really used. So if it is as at like 100% durability, I think you get a good majority. As you see on here, these are just crafting materials and things like that. It does depend on the area that you're getting them from. So if it's a lower level area like Stonewood, you get the parts that are specific to that place. If you're in the higher level areas, you'll actually get see like things like fine grained mineral powder, and then there's sturdy mechanical parts. These are a part of the area. So Canny Valley and further has better stuff, basically. So always keep that in mind. Your storage, this is just your entire thing. I was given a lot of these. I had someone drop them, being nice, and I just took them. I'm probably going to scrap them down and not even use them because that's a little boring. There are people, and, you know, not even people. Beast, he's a good Save the World YouTuber. I suggest watching him for a lot of his content. I have gotten a lot of my knowledge from him. He has talked about a lot of the things of not accepting people giving you stuff because it ruins your overall experience. I believe if you just scrap it down, it's probably the best thing to do. If people drop you stuff, don't just keep the items, because then it's kind of twists the outcome of how it feels. But another thing to keep in mind is in your locker, if you really want to, you can always use what your soldier, like your character, looks like, which is your actual commander. So if we go in command, hero loadout, it's this character. Always keep that in mind. And yeah. So yeah, Llama Shop, I already showed all this stuff. V-Bucks, yeah, already showed all that stuff. Make sure if you're going to buy any of these things, use my creator code BennjipieLIVE, all caps on the screen. Please and thank you, because it supports me. If you're going to buy it, might as well use someone's code, right? If you don't want to use mine, that's totally fine, though. I'm not, like, offended. And before I forget, you have survivors. You also have survivor squads. These are very important. Do not scrap all of your survivors, especially to start. The quickest way I can explain this right now, instead of getting very in-depth in another video, which I'll probably do a video of it on its own, basically, you want to upgrade them after you can tell that, like, all of them have a matching personality type. And you want to match it to your leader. The leader will be right here. You have the personality, which is this icon to the left, and then the sort of benefit that they have. So EMT is this icon. This is what matches. You do this, they all match. And then if you want to have a pitch perfect, they would all be legendary. This person would be mythic, and then we would have all of these set bonuses being capped out. So all of them would match. When you look at set bonuses, you need to have 3 of 3, and I don't. I have 2 of 3, so there's someone else here that's this character that has it. It's confusing. So basically, I would need to drop some of these people and substitute them for others, and it's very confusing. You get more of these slots as you complete the campaign. So once you finish the entire game, you will have access to all of these. And the reason why you do this is because it upgrades your power level up here at the top left, which is a part of your fort stats, which is where the hell is it? Which is in here. Okay, so it upgrades. It's a mixture of upgrading all of these things and just keeping you at a higher level, which is just health, your damage, how much damage other stuff does. It's a lot. But yeah, there's going to be custom quests as well. That's things to keep in mind, just as a quick thing to show. There isn't just the quests in Stonewood. There's different ones. You have to build the radar grid, just destroy specific encampments, refuel the home base. There was a bunch more than just like a set 5, repair the shelter. There's evacuate the shelter, launch the rocket. That's a specific one to end off the area. And then there's these 4-player ones, which basically means that the level is going to be much harder. You need 4 people. You don't actually need 4 people. And that's just always something to keep in mind. Yeah. So that's pretty much that's a quick explanation, as quick as I can probably give it to anyone. Just always make sure you're doing your campaign stuff. If you're confused on if you can do it in the campaign, these things right here will light up. So if we go quickly we go to ventures, because this quest is highlighted for ventures, that will highlight because that means I can do it there. So keep that in mind whenever you're doing stuff if you're confused. That's honestly what you should do. Just campaign, all that stuff. It's going to feel very bland at first if you are a very, very new player and you've been listening up until this point. I appreciate it. Drop a sub, whatever. You know, pop a little fancy thing up at the bottom of the screen. Just do it if you want to see more content like this. But basically, you're going to be playing the same mission a couple times, and it might get a little boring because you've experienced it so many times. It ends up being the same sort of thing. Okay, so just always keep that in mind when you're playing. It's not going to be something always super different. I compare it to something like Helldivers, where you have a certain amount of things and you just basically are doing the same missions like several times over, and you're trying to upgrade yourself in the process. it's a gameplay loop, really, and a lot of people sometimes can find it boring. Other people find it that they just use this as a V-Buck farm because they're still founders. Something to keep in mind is your daily quests. You have to be successful in all of the missions for all of your quests. Most of them, at least. Okay, so always make sure to do that. I got in depth with all of these. Your war games and endurance, I think you get that later. Don't worry about that. Your ventures, that's its own thing. Events, that's just for the specific time that we're in. I think repeatable quests you constantly have. And then you get all these hero side quests and all this stuff that you can do on the side. Challenges, these are a part of getting platinum for the game, so always keep that in mind. You have to build a lot, explore a lot, save a lot, play with other players, kill mist monsters. It's a bunch of stuff. But yeah, that should be the best explanation that I can possibly give. Yeah, that's really it. As a way to end off, we're going to open this up because it's fun. All right, let's see. What do we get? I don't own either of these. A vacuum tube. I think that's a good one. I think that is a good one. I only have one of those, so I want to get two. Oh, hey, this is the one that I wanted to get. I think it is. But yeah, all right. Well, all right. But yeah, enough of me being an addict of gambling. Hope you guys have a great day, night, week, month, whole rest of the year. It really doesn't matter when it is. Hope that's great for you guys, though. See ya.